Hi everybody and welcome back to Hex Token channel. Hope you guys have been enjoying the daily updates, of course. I love doing them, so it is a fun time, of course. And I always say stake it to make it, because staking really is the art of Hex. It is the first certificate of deposit on the blockchain. Not any ordinary one, of course, like the bank. It's a supercharged one, 37% plus APY. Pretty outstanding. So nice. You get the penalties on top, of course, when people break their staking commitments. It's coming up on the 2-year anniversary, by the way, 2nd December 2021. That's amazing. Launched obviously 2nd December 2019. And of course, if you were back there, you were OG and you enjoyed it, of course. And that was already started up by a pre-run up there by about 2 years. So it took about a year delay. But had the concept been around almost that long, so pretty amazing. And for those of us who were back there, we really did enjoy the ride for sure. So that's a little bit of back history, of course. Let's get into some of the Hex price at the moment. I was going to talk about some of the price analysis at the moment. So let's get into some of my opinions. Now, these are just opinions based on just a reasonable probability. And of course, they could be wrong. So just take that into account. But let us know in the chat what your thoughts are. You may be looking at different models, trying to predict the future price of Hex, where it's going to go in particular. Now, I'm not actually too worried about the price of Hex. I'm more interested in the staking, the number of wallets, the number of stakers, and the economic energy coming in to the ecosystem. So that's more important to me fundamentally. Obviously, staking out, getting those mad gains is more important. The other side, of course, is that PulseChain's coming, and that's going to be a huge ecosystem that Hex is going to be the flagship in. And we already know Richard Hart's wanting to dominate crypto space and make an ecosystem with all the superior products in it, including the first system state copy of Ethereum, the superior MetaMask wallet, of course, fiat gateways, bridges, all that sort of thing. And it's going to be a fun time for sure. And of course, Hex is the flagship product on there, and the world's first ever certificate deposit. So with that bit of a review, let's get straight into the price at the moment and see how we're getting on here. So current price is at 29.6 cents is on TradingView, which is a pretty nice site for doing pricing. And of course, let's get straight into this. So at the moment, of course, we had a huge run up here. We were way down here, if you recall, at about 1 cent, and it was fighting around 1 cent for a long time. Actually, might go a bit further back here. I don't know. Let's see how far. Just going to get rid of that there. And of course, 19th of November. So we've got the 19th of November. Let's go back here. 19th of November, the price was a high of 0.004. Let me just finish on that 19th there. It's a little bit sensitive. So keep touching my mouse there. So the price was the high on the 19th was 0.006. Now it was where big payday was. So big payday is when people got a super bonus into their stakes. A lot of people that weren't even in Hex decided to jump on there. It looked like they were going to get 200-300% gains. Of course, the Origin wallet went and staked. And the whole staking amount went up to about 98%. That's how we know that the Origin wallet had over 90% of the circulating supply, plus an audit that was done earlier this year in February by Gunther, community member Gunther, the accountant, which was very well done, by the way. So that gives us an idea of that the Origin wallet, the main wallet sitting behind the contract that helps support the price of Hex, ended up staking and reducing all those speculators' returns down to about 30%. So it's pretty nice. Obviously, if you're stake long, you would have got about 100% plus on longer stakes. So people that were really interested in staking benefited. So obviously that's where we were. We're at 0006 in November 19th. Of course, we've had the slow run up here where we were fighting around about this 1 cent mark. You can see in this area, and of course then we had our first really big rally that you can see on this scale anyway. This is a linear scale, by the way, so long-term patterns are better represented by exponential scales. There's a linear scale at the moment, and so we ran up to about 7 cents, and then of course we mulled around there, and then we rallied up to about 9.5 cents. We mucked around there as well for a while, and of course we jumped from 8.7 cents all the way up to 19 cents, and that was very teasing, of course. And that was the beginning of the around about the sacrifice period as well, day 2, day 3 of the pulse sacrifice period. So people got the best result on day 2. That ran for 17 days, of course, and then the price started being sold down there a bit as well, perhaps a bit of manipulation also, and then of course the PulseChain rate was getting lower and lower and lower. Of course, then we got down to 0.10 cents, muddled around there. You know, we ranged up between 15 and 10 cents, and of course then we started moving out after the PulseChain sacrifice period, the first phase. Of course, Testnet was actually Testnet was really delayed, so that was interesting. The price went and moved in speculation for getting the copy of the hex on PulseChain, and excitement around that. Of course, it rallied up massively, as you can see from here. So we actually might get the little ruler out here. So let's say we're down at 10.5 cents, and of course, rallied up to about 363% up to 38 cents, which is a pretty big move on the scale. But once this hex moves into dollars, maybe tens of dollars and beyond, with potential, then this price level will look very small. Just like the 1 cent mark down, this mark down here around 1 cent looks small to 50 cents. So 50 cents will look small to several dollars. That's just the way it's going to be, right? So we'll have a bigger scale on the right here. So that's pretty cool. That's kind of a history there. And of course, at the moment, we've had our big correction. You keep having these big corrections, right? So every time you're at the top, you're always having a correction there after it overheats, and down we go. The other thing, of course, is that um, we just don't know what's going to happen at this phase. We've got plenty of history down here that it's going to move, so it's going to retrace and move sideways, and we'll have a bit of a range. So when you think that we have recovery to 33 cents and so forth, it might come back there. So let me just scroll that over there. I'm going to take a bit more time there as well. Let me just scrunch that up, and I'm going to add in some cool little indicators. So this is where I think it might be at the moment. I think that top of the range I've been saying in one or two other videos, 33 cents. So we might get that, but we're still in the downward momentum. We've still got a bit of time to go before PulseChain as well. So let's say that PulseChain is around about here. Let's say it's in late December, could be early as mid-December, and don't forget the 2nd of December is the 2-year anniversary hex. But let's say that it's before Christmas Eve at the end of December. That'd be a pretty nice Christmas present, of course, but it could also be as late as January. So just taking into account, we're just basing on kind of a probability, a reasonable probability. Obviously, that's not certainty. So it's a sort of educated guess here. And so let's say that we get up to 33 cents. We still got sort of the downward trend at the moment. So we could end up getting around to that 19 cents mark, not down to 16 cents, but not down to the 22 cents range I already said, because we've already hit that back here on the 18th. But let's say that we go up back again. We may try to test 33 cents again. Then we might end up going back down, let's say by mid-November. So that's about 3 weeks. And so if we do that, we'll go back down. Otherwise, we could just stay in this range here, right? But I think that definitely we could still have the potential for the next few weeks, because remember, the big catalyst really is PulseChain, and we could have a bit more of a dead silence period, if that makes sense, as opposed to a pumping site, because we already had that pump for getting the copy of hex here. We might have just a little bit of sideways movements, or a downish trend here at the moment. So we could see a bit of that, where we get the zigzag, just like we did back here, zigzag back here, zigzag here, zigzag, and then we get up and down. We might see it could potentially go as low as about 18 cents as well, and then we could see this in the middle of November. Of course, it could just zigzag here and not go down so strongly, and then move up here is what I'm expecting to test the previous high, and I think that might be happening as it runs up from the middle of November up to as early to the first week of December. So that's pretty fast, right? So, but that's hex for you, right? It moves pretty fast. And of course, PulseChain will come out, especially if an announcement comes out about the testnet going very well, which is still on, of course, at the moment, doing lots of tests, airdrop tests and everything like that. Then people are already doing, stakes and stuff like that on there with the delegated type things. I think that's what's being mimicked on the test chain at the moment. And so we could see that. And then, of course, we could see it just consolidate around here. 17th, and then maybe the announcement comes really certain that it is December as opposed to January. Otherwise, you could get a bit of a sell-off then before January. Don't get tricked out by the sell-offs because PulseChain is a huge deal. That's my suggestion to you, not obviously investment advice, but don't get tricked out by any slight disappointments, because you could miss out if you sell out your position and so forth, that sort of thing. So then we could see the price really start to move. Now you can see it's quite steep, right? Because that means it's going to go through another parabolic, and I've got the price coming up here to as high as $2.30 on the next move. So that's pretty a lot, of course, and that's based on the PulseChain. And of course, even though there are some Hex OGs with quite a bit of liquid in their wallets, because we've already seen some selling already in this retrace, right, from some of them. There's a good chance that just like we got this run up, that they'll hold on there, and we'll start moving up pretty strongly, especially with some big buyers in the market as well, because we know that some PulseChain's got some big whales that sacrifice, also big whales that wanting to build in the PulseChain ecosystem to set up big businesses on that. So we'll look forward to that, folks. I think that's kind of where the measures goes. This is obviously not certainty, just in my view on this at the moment. But I think I've given you a bit of rationale behind that. Let me know in the chat what you think. Hopefully that's not too long, 11 minutes. I didn't want to be too long with this, but that's kind of one of the predictions. Once again, go out there and check, look at anyone else's pricing, and hopefully that will give you some different reasons perhaps that I haven't talked about, or some different price targets, different patterns that may happen on this. Once again, this is a linear scale. It's typically better to have a exponential scale on it, but I just going to do the linear one today just to go make it nice and simple. All right, I hope you enjoyed that. Feel free to subscribe, like, and share. Hit the bell, of course. I always look forward to having you in the community as well. Onwards and upwards. Take care now, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye for now.